calling people. Dear Mr. I'm too good to call or write my fans. This'll be the last package I ever send your ass. It's been 9 days and still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 videos. I wrote the addresses on them perfect. Come on, Adam Underwood. This is my cassette I'm sending you. I hope you hear it. I'm in the car right now. Let's not sing the rest of it if you get the reference. I mean, I didn't do the melody I wrote right now, but my tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why. Got out of bed at all. What's going on? It's been 9 days. No, Helen, of course not. Come on. Of course not. But it's a bit shit. Of course. They're doing something. I don't know what it is. All I want is a lousy letter or a call. I hope he knows. Adam gives me wood. He's off the wall. I loved you, man. We could have had a thing. But you've ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you and you can't breathe without me. See, Adam, shut up, bitch. I'm trying to talk. Oh, God. It's mad, isn't it? I forgot how am I supposed to send this shit out. Well, it's easy. On YouTube. My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why. This is what we're resorted to, losing our minds. Yeah. No, don't lose patience. Listen, it's all a bit of fun. Russell Knight, as he says, behave, as they say, no news is good news. Gem and M. I like that, Gem and M. Yeah. Exactly, Mark. Help me, brother. It's all a bit, oh, guess what, though? Guess what? Car engine's fucked. Oh. I've been at the garage today, pistons and all this sort of stuff. So now it's in their hands. They're going to speak to the warranty company and hopefully they'll cover it. If not, in fact, I ain't even had it 6 months, man. I'm not having no luck with these cars. They're money pits. I might just start walking everywhere. Yeah, look, quiet. We can say silence is golden and all that jazz. But it is difficult, innit? Like, because we're like... Sebastian Vidal only one given us out, and we know how reliable he is. Exactly. Moving in silence is the anti-hero of content creators. I love that righteous one. It's true. It is true. I don't like that they move in silence. Give me news every day. We need an El Canoes bomber. But even that, right? Even the El Canoes stuff, it seems like a relatively straightforward deal to get done, and it's not done. So, is that right, Lee? Do you want to come over? Yeah, no worries. No, I'll send it over, bro. Of course, for sure. Why not? Why not, broski? Come on over and chat. I think I might be speaking to Joe later as well. I was going to get Joe on, but he's not free till 2. But I can lose my shit, and then Joe can calm me down later on. Listen, you know how confident I am. I crashed out yesterday when people were telling me Everton are better. I'm all right, though, now I've had sleep. But my point is, if we don't get any more, which I think we will, but if we didn't, then we will go down. That's not a thing that I like to say. Yeah, Tyler, you're right. You're right. This is the thing. When you can activate a release clause and the player's not here yet, he's probably waiting on other clubs activating a release clause. You know, glad you're sunnier today. I'm feeling better. Yeah, I slept. I actually slept in past my my car appointment, but it was okay. Agree, Joe. Hurts to say, but true. Yeah, definitely. Joe is a legend. Yes, he is. We'll definitely get more, at least 3 or 4. We have to, don't we, Matty? Them's the facts. Let's bring in Max. He did say he was in Leeds United's training room. Let's have a look. Here he is. Hi, mate.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I've been walking around a little bit, just hanging around. And I've been, I've seen a few players about.
John Travolta mean like the, you know what I mean? Where is everybody?
I've just been stood in the corner like the what's the Paul Black Mall Cop? What's the actor where he's like?
Oh, I forget his
that
name.
meme.
I know what you mean though. I do know what you mean. He's in the Chuck movie, innit?
Yeah, he's in loads of stuff.
Yeah,
I watched your stream from yesterday, and I saw you having to bat things back at people. I just saw it. Then I was going to message you like, let's just keep it not from you, but from like, let's just all be positive. I don't understand. The thing is, what I don't get is the negativity side of things. You feel worse if you're negative and then you write anyway. Like,
I'd rather be positive.
At least, you'd rather be proved wrong and at least spend the rest of your time hoping.
Yeah. All we've got is hope, man, and faith. Yeah. That's all we have. But it's 9 days, Max, since something official happened. And what I mean by that is when we got Here We Go on Igor Paixão to Marseille.
Yeah.
Everything else since then, apart from, I would say, I do believe the Bilal El Canoe stuff was credible, but outside of that, it's all BS, you know, Taremi.
And I think that,
off this player and that player, that's all BS for me. So
do you know why I think it's worse? I think it's because it's the most important positions are the ones that we haven't got yet. I think if we still haven't signed a left back, people would obviously be doing the meme, sign a left back. But if we'd have signed a striker, a winger, and a goalkeeper, and like, do you get what I mean? And we didn't have a left back or another central midfielder or something, I think everybody would be a little bit more chill about things. But because it's like striker, that's the guy that scores the goals to keep you up. Everyone's like, and I think it's weird that we haven't had any links to strikers really.
It's only Muniz in it, and then the longer that goes on as well, you're less confident because we see like Atalanta now making him one of their main options, and the reports from Di Marzio, which is a top tier source, and they're saying that the owner is going to come over to England and speak to, you know, the Fulham powers that be. So when you read people or see people like that from very good sources, you go, oh God, even that's looking bleak now. So at that point, it's like, right, well, where do we go to next, if that makes sense?
Yeah, because I think they obviously always have backups, don't they, in the lists? They've always got backups in these lists. But I think it becomes a point of, at what time do you go, we can't wait for Muniz any longer? Because I think early in the window, we obviously identified him as a target. Then they were like, okay, well, he's not going to move from Fulham until they sign a new striker, so we'll wait for that. And then there's all these other things, all these moving pieces, because Fulham are probably thinking, well, before Newcastle got Shesko, they were thinking, oh, Newcastle we might be able to get a bit more out of them. They're oil rich. And then it's like, so we're kind of sat there waiting around for anything to happen, but at some point you've got to go, okay, move on, we've got to pull the trigger on someone else. Surely I know for a fact, with the kind of capability that this recruitment department have, we do have backups, but it's interesting that we don't really know about them other than Nikola Kristovic. He's the only other name really we've heard as a striker option this season.
But even with that, I don't think it's genuine, that Kristovic stuff. I don't like it. Came out in Italy, but then we've had nothing at all over here, mate. So I even put question marks over that. But
they could certain like newspaper and certain outlets will kind of beef up to basically to try to push somebody else to go and make the deal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And we do get used like that. You know, you could argue the Paixão was used in that capacity as well, man. We saw loads of stuff going down with that. Like, we were told Marseille had got him a week before they actually got him and all that sort of stuff. So it's all about pulling strings and optics and stuff. But are you confident then still? I am still confident that we will get the players, just maybe not before Everton, because I know the club surely can't think we've got enough to survive 38 games in the Premier League.
Yeah, and Farke said that as much, didn't he, after the Villarreal game? So, but I think that Everton game is one where we probably still do have enough, especially if Metcha's fit. Because the thing is with Metcha, he would be a very good striker and he fits the system perfectly. I've seen Lockie talking about this as well with his tactics videos about how well he fits us and how much of a kind of good hold-up player he is. But the problem with Metcha is you can't rely on him staying fit for a whole season. But if you can be fit for that Everton game, I think he probably would start over Peru. And you definitely need to have 3 strikers in a team, in a squad, to be able to bring them in. So I think we're probably all right for that game. From what the little flashes that you see of Ramazani when he comes on and he instantly kind of we saw it throughout the championship. He'll instantly do more than the other wingers kind of done for the whole game, where he just takes a sidestep and shoots and tests the goalkeeper, and you think, just more of that. So I think with Dan James,
we're missing X factor, aren't we, in the final third?
And I think with this kind of
Rafinha, for example,
you need someone who can create. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why we identified El Canouse as well, because he's somebody who can play those forward balls. But he can play out wide and drift inside and play them forward to his teammates. But a lot of our forwards finish things off forwards. Like Dan James isn't particularly a creator, is he?
He's not.
No.
If I'm being honest, Max, a lot of his balls are hit and hope. And I mean that with the best will in the world. When he's crossing, I don't know if Dan...
I think he has improved that.
Yeah, he has. Am I doing him a disservice? I probably am, to be fair. He's a professional.
I think you know what? I think I would have agreed with you a couple of seasons ago, but I think being in the championship, he's kind of slowed things down a little bit. He's suddenly just learnt to play with his left foot. When he cuts back inside and then uses his left foot to whip it like curled towards the back post, there's some really dangerous balls. But that I wouldn't necessarily class that as creativity myself. I'm talking about the kind of player who can play that killer pass, and break the line as someone runs into the box and finishes things off 1v1 against the goalkeeper. And I don't think we've really got anyone like that at the moment.
No, we don't. I think you bang on, mate. And it is a bit of. I think it is a little bit of a worry. Not so much for Everton, but obviously we then have to go to the Emirates, and that's going to be tough no matter who we've got. Even if we bring in our new signings, they're unbelievable and they're great at home, even more so. Then Newcastle, we know how good Newcastle are. I know they might, to be honest, we might get Newcastle at the right time with the way their transfer window's shaping up at the minute. It looks like they're losing out on Sesko as well now. So, but them games are rock hard. Even Fulham away the week after that. That's not the same Fulham that we used to be in. That's
not the one that we beat 3-1 in the Championship when Jack Harrison ended up in the stand and stuff. It's
even
a
the first
animal
season
now.
we were up in the Prem with Bielsa, we always beat them, but it's not that same Fulham under Marco Silva that it was. No way.
No. I think that's the thing. It's well, you saw last season that every game is difficult now in the Premier League. I mean, it was anyway, but like even more so now, where you start to go, okay, well, Crystal Palace are a good side, Fulham are a really good side, Forest are a good, like there isn't anyone that particularly you would look at. Obviously, we've as Leeds fans, we've been kind of looking at Wolves and Brentford and going, not so sure about them, but they've both been in the league for a good few years and they're established. But yeah, I think the way that we set up now will help us out in games like that with how kind of physical and strong we can be. But it's just, a couple more signings are definitely needed. But for the Everton game particularly, I wouldn't be the end of the world if we didn't get
I agree
the striker in by then. But I think we should. I think we get at least one by that game.
Yeah. Which position do you think?
I think it might be El Canouse. And I also think that we need to sign a backup left back as well, backup left back / right back. So if we can get James Justin and a winger by that game, I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
And then maybe the striker takes a little bit more time, but we get the right guy in the end. You'd be happier if we got the right guy and it took a bit longer, wouldn't you? I think.
Yeah. No. Of course. Yeah. Like I'm all right. I'm all right with waiting, I guess, as long as we get the right guy. I don't want to rush it 100%. I'm not saying like, oh, just go out and sign anybody now. Yeah, it's frustrating as well. Obviously, we do this as work, right? So, like,
Yeah.
we have to speak about things, and admittedly, sometimes we're just coming on and we're just putting out our thoughts, into the ether of where we're currently at. And like yesterday, I'm out all day. I'm thinking, well, at least there'll be something for me to talk about. This morning, I'm at the garage, but there'll be something for me to talk about, and still nothing. And I think, I don't know about you, I think the club are burnt after the Paixão deal. So they've now just like shut up shop because we're not getting nothing from the Athletic long read piece. We're not getting nothing from Graham Smith that's new. Not getting anything from Isaac Johnson at all. Whereas it felt like Leeds had shut up shop and were saying every deal was going to be difficult. Then they changed tact and started giving out information. And now they've just said, you know what, you're not getting fuck all.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
But that's what they did in the Championship, isn't it? And it was always, we always used to say, don't they, the 49ers are moving in silence and stuff. Yeah. But I think when you get to the Premier League, there's a different set of eyes on it, so it all becomes big, and it's always from the opposition side that stuff gets leaked as well, isn't it? It's from
never from our end.
Yeah, it's never from our end because they do try, but there's nothing they can really do about a foreign journalist leaking it, really, if they found out about it. And
I think as well, like even our journalists, if we're being honest, they have to protect relationships with the club, so they might know things.
Yeah, there's embargoes, isn't there, in which they can't say things until a certain time.
Even if they found something, they won't want to release that without corroboration from the club because it can mess up relationships, right? Let's say they're aware of a player, they then speak to the club and are like, yeah, we're not going to be speaking on that. Is it ideal for them to just go out and release it anyway? Because the club might be like, well, you can fuck off. You're not getting anything in future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only hope we've got really is something on the continent, I think.
Yeah, but then you've also got to think that, like, let's take Fulham, for example.
Yeah.
They are also a British club who also probably don't want... It's probably when you're selling players that you actually want kind of it less to be out in the public domain as well. So if there is conversations going on between Leeds and Fulham, I would imagine that neither party really wants that to go anywhere. So they probably will keep it under wraps. So yeah.
Are you surprised at the lack of outgoings?
The thing with Leeds is that we sold our saleable assets last summer with Georgie and Archie going. They were our big money makers, weren't they? And now, when you're looking at it, when you look through the squad,
we don't really have any, do we?
Yeah, there's nobody that massively boosts our PSR. I think you actually mentioned it in yesterday's stream when you're talking about the kind of how much we have to spend of PSR and how, like, on that graph on the Athletic. And there was a bit there saying about kind of what you have to offset about that in player sales, but we don't really have anyone that's worth anything anymore. We kind of sold them, and kind of now we've been promoted, we need everybody that's actually worth anything. So now we're a bit like, we kind of just have to, well, eat the PSR if we can get rid of it, if we can actually find people to want our players, because the ones that we've got, they're not going to make us that much money and nobody really wants them. So it's like,
yeah.
Although apparently a few clubs were interested in Mateo Joseph and Joffy.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's going to pay what Leeds United want for Joseph.
No, she's probably their plan all along, really.
But
then loan him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, loan without any option or obligation, which I found again I didn't think would ever be the case. I was massively wrong on that. I genuinely thought the club were up for letting him go. But you know, like a lot of people said, no, protect his value, and it looks like the club are going to do that. So fair play.
Me personally, if I was in charge of that, I would let him go, and I would take 10 to 12 million for him, because I just don't like. You can't have four strikers in a Premier League squad.
He's not, regardless of when we sell him. I don't see a world now in which he's now a Leeds player. Does that make sense?
Certain clubs can't afford to give someone a chance just because they might be good in the future. Like, it's so important to us that we got promoted. So people say, "Oh, Farke's treatment of Joseph wasn't enough. It seemed like he was going to be the first choice striker. Wasn't good enough. He was going to be the first choice striker for the season last season, and he only gave him a few games before pulling him out. But he wasn't very good. And Joel Peru has been the top goal scorer, and you can't really justify not playing him. So it's so important to us that we got promoted because of all the money we would have lost. That in modern football, certain clubs cannot afford to give the young lad a chance.
Yeah.
Just because he's the young lad. Like you have to earn that, and you have to be good enough to earn that, and I don't think he is.
No, it's not at this moment in time, is it?
You can't have 4 strikers in a Premier League squad, can you? Because some of them will just not get any minutes at all. So
the thing is as well, Pirro and Metra are so different. So the big games, whereas Joseph's like, he'd be very similar just to the striker we want to bring in, but just a lot lower level. So it's like, well, you know, Metra's going to be used this way, Pirro, and then like I don't know where Joseph even fits in, because if you're using Pirro, or let's say we get our number 1 striker target, Muniz. If you want something different, you bring on Pirro. If you want something, you bring on Metra, don't you? Because
if you want fresh legs of similar, you bring on Metra. Yeah, I know what you mean. Exactly. But that's the thing with Joseph. I don't think he kind of, to me, doesn't really fit any of those molds, and I don't like. I wonder if he would be better in a different position, but I don't know where. I mean, when it used to be the under-21s, it would be like him, Joffy, and am I remembering this right? It'd be like him, Joffy, and Sam Greenwood were like in those forward positions, and then like they would whoever was in the number 10, and sometimes they were switching to the striker. But he's not good enough as a number 10 either. So you kind of have to get rid of him.
Yeah, we do. What do you make? Because Donna's just put in a very good comment, and as someone did put a comment on my stream, I've not had a chance to listen to it yet. I'm just trying to find it, but apparently Rob on the Square Ball had mentioned that 65% of signings tend to happen in the last 2 weeks of the window, and Donna, like as mentioned there, most of the action is late in the window. So, you know, I don't know if that stat's like fact checked and backed up, but it probably would sort of make sense. I was speaking to Dan, the coach of the White Roses, and he's been saying to me, look, the facts are it's about dominoes and waiting for things to fall. As soon as we start to see movement one way, then everything will just fall into place. Even like, let's say, for example, Man United gets Sesko. Does that then mean that Rasmus Højlund is available for clubs? Do you know what I mean? And then he moves, and then all these things. And I'm not saying that
domino effect is the perfect description of it, because once one moves, then they all start moving, and obviously that's kind of already happened. But then sometimes you haven't set your dominoes up quite right, and one misses, and then it all stops for a little while in the transfer window. And I don't think there's that many clubs, from what I've heard, have made like within the last kind of like 9 days. I don't think anyone's made that kind of massive moves for strikers. They're all kind of, can we get Sesko? Apart from Ekitike. But do you get what I mean? Like, I feel like that's that kind of falling point. And then when Leipzig sell him, then they might buy somebody else, and everything starts to move then, and like the ball gets rolling again. So especially we are on somewhat lower down.
Don't know what happened then. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. We are on that train, really, aren't we? But we're on one of the back carriages, waiting for all the biggest moves to happen until we can get the trickle down effect.
And the fact are is as well, we're way down that back at the train, aren't we? We're in carriage. You know, like yesterday on way back from London, I was in carriage A, and the train was at fucking like K. So I had to walk for ages to get to the front of carriage, and that's ultimately like us, because at the end of the day, we might want Muniz, but now if Newcastle miss out on Sesko, they might want Muniz, and it's like, we're fucked. So what's that next domino for Leeds? Do you know what I mean? So yes, it's just, I just want, like, throw me a freaking bone here, like, just
give us a backup fullback in the meantime, just a
something,
little appetizer.
I think what it is, like, we're YouTubers and that. It's not. But imagine being a journalist. Imagine being Aaron. Imagine
you've got to write an article.
I've got to get some clicks somehow. Otherwise, my gaffer's going, "Why aren't you?" You know what I mean? I work for myself. They've got a boss to go to. Does that make sense? So, Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be interesting, but it's one of them, innit? When do you think we'll see a signing? You mentioned you think we'll get one in before Everton.
Yeah, I think that's still, 12 days away. Yeah, I think we get one in by then. It's the 6th today. It's on the 18th, isn't
12
it? Because
days.
it's the
Yeah.
Monday.
Uh-huh.
Which also gives us that extra. But even if we do, the thing is, even if we do sign someone, then they're not going to play.
It's not 12 days. This is what I'm saying to you, because really they need to be in before that in order for them to be able to play, don't they?
But do you know what? It's Daniel Farke, and I don't think he'll play them even if they come in a week before, because he's going to say, well, they've not had enough time to learn anything yet. And I think he did that last season when we signed players at the start of the championship season. There was players who just signed and we were like looking thin on the ground and they were still on the bench, and he was like, well, they're not ready yet. So even if we do bring someone in, I think it might be. But look, if we bring in a James Justin or someone like that as a backup fullback, that settles the nerves a little bit in one sense. That if
Bogle might not even be ready, mate, for the Everton
and I would
game.
be very happy with James Justin starting in that game.
Yeah, I don't want Schmidt to start after seeing him against Pino. No.
Do you know what? I actually thought Schmidt was all right for the first kind of 5 or 6 minutes.
I'm not sure.
He made a couple of tackles, and then after that, it was like, oh, okay, I don't think he was woeful, but I just don't think he was up with the pace of the game. I think
don't think. Yeah, pace of the game, positionally, spatial awareness, all these things that we maybe take for granted. Even just being in the right position as a ball's being played in, he's you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think that the Swiss league is a market that we should be shopping in. I think it's like when we're shopping in the Austrian league, like, yes, there's 1 or 2 good clubs in the Austrian league and they'll do all right in the Europa League and things like that. But after that, it's a worse level than the Championship, and so's the Swiss league. Like, what we've got Berardi and Alioski, who like had their peak at Leeds and are now on the tail end of their careers, now playing in Switzerland, which is probably like, it's very nice in Switzerland, but in terms of the football quality, it's probably like upper League One level. So, because the reason I said that is I didn't even give any context. A, Schmidt, and B, this we've been linked with that Italian fullback, haven't we, from the Swiss league? Probably, yeah. But I just think in general, let's just steer clear of stuff like that. Yeah. And it's, yes, we've got the kind of like data-based recruitment. And yes, it's like, to a certain extent, you can say that anyone that's been identified because of the way they play and because of what they've looked like, they could come in and do a really good job, like bloody Brighton picking people from like the Ecuadorian second division and making them really good. But the majority of the time, you could look in the Belgian league or the French league or whatever, that's fine. But when you go kind of like too obscure sometimes, you're a bit like
the Austrian league.
Yeah.
As well.
The Austrian league and the Swiss league, it just...
Yeah. I know. I hear you. I just want to answer a few points that have hurt me, because I tend to do. I think written off, I mean, you could say that, but all I'm saying is I don't want him to be starting in the Premier League. I saw enough to say that, you know, Dwight McNeil, for example, who's bottom end of decent left wingers in the Premier League, would give him a torrid time. I think positionally he was a bit all over the shop for me personally, and that's something really that should come naturally to someone who plays at fullback, in my opinion. I may be wrong. You say glazing Aronson after one game. I've seen him for a hell of a lot more than one game, and in terms of positionally and football IQ on the pitch, where he needs to be, when he needs to press, etc., he's one of the best at it. He might not be one of the best on the ball. He might not be the best finisher, the best assist or whatever, which I get. But like, in terms of what the manager requests, he knows where he's at. And I think the fact that we didn't see Schmidt at right back, like's been mentioned by Isaac Block, I think. Ice Block. I think he's proving that the manager wrong. And so, yeah. And look, for those saying he wasn't as bad, that's fine. It's all about, it's all about opinions, and that's fine.
He was probably our worst player. Apart maybe
and the manager's
Longstaff
willing to let
was
him
pretty
go,
poor as
and
well.
that tells you all you need to know. He's willing to let him go.
Yeah,
isn't it?
And
So.
I do think as well with Schmidt, like you can say we're writing him off after one game, but there's got to be a reason why he didn't really get any game time last season. And when he did get game time, he put him on the wing as an extra winger. Yeah. So it's like he does not trust him as a fullback.
Going forward, he looked better on the weekend. Defensively, it was shocking, the goal came down his side, etc. And that's why the manager trusted him enough to play in that half of the pitch, but not this half of the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. And with Aronson, we always know that he's going to work hard, and then you get people kind of minimizing that's like the whole sentiment behind what we like about Aronson is hard running, and they say, oh, he's a running merchant. Oh, at least he runs a lot. But that's minimizing what it is, because he runs a lot, but he does press well. He does track back and defend well. I wouldn't be surprised to see in certain games this season, Aronson gets brought off the bench when we need to hold on to a lead, because he will help his fullback out so much, and he's got so much energy to get up and down and try to make tackles like he did in that game, really. Yeah, he wasn't the best player in the world, but he did well, and it was a noticeable difference, him playing out wide compared to what it was like on the wing, in the centre last season. And that's what people are noticing, that you thought, okay, Aronson could be handy as a bench option for the wing if he's needed this season. And that's pretty much all that anyone was saying.
Yeah. No, true. Listen, I don't want to keep you all longer than I need to. We've done 32 minutes. There's not really much more for us to talk about. Max, have you got anything coming out on Leeds lately, etc.? And also, Max doesn't live too far away from me now, so we need to do something in person, don't we?
Yes, maybe we'll do at some point.
For the season, pre-season predictions or something together in person. That'd be cool. Yeah, but have you got anything coming out on Leeds lately that you want to make people aware of?
Well, I did a video, came out yesterday, about Farke's kind of survival tactics for the Premier League. But obviously the plan is to survive, to get 17th or higher. And people commented saying, survival, so negative. And I'm thinking, well, we're not going to win the league, are we? So I've done like a tactics video talking about how the 4-3-3 might adapt from the 4-2-3-1, etc. And I'm going to record a video after this for tomorrow, but I don't even know what it is going to be yet, because like you say, there's not really been any news. So I'll think of something, make a video, and it'll be out tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, we'll get that out. Sorry, I've just read the text there. But yeah, Max will get that out. Make sure you check that out. Please do smash a like on this video. I'll hopefully be back later on with some actual news to break, but we will see. If not, it's what it is. We'll talk about something. Maybe we'll talk about the weather or something. I don't know. Big up to everyone watching, though, and I will speak to you later on. And go check out Max's channel as well. Leeds lately, folks.
We're about 300 subs off 10K.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there's 600 people watching this. So 50% of you, go on over there now, subscribe to Leeds Lately and help my brother out. If the mods can put it in the chat for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. And then you'll just be able to click the link and go straight through there. So can one of the mods do that for me now? Thank God we have a game on Saturday. Yeah. How do you think that's going to go, Max, at the weekend? I'm excited to see Lucas Perry in goal.
I am. That's what I was wanting to see from the Villarreal game, and then he wasn't in the squad. I was like, oh. Yeah. But yeah, I do think it's a good test to play teams that are actually difficult to play against, like in AC Milan and the Villarreal. Villarreal Champions League qualification, and they play Champions League this season. So I think I compared them to the likes of like Villa and Forest and Newcastle and stuff that we might play this season. Villarreal, obviously they weren't at full strength. AC Milan is probably a test against playing like a top 4 side in the Premier League. So it's going to be a tough test, but I think it'll be good to see what we can do against them. Yeah.
No, that'd be great. It will be great. The only thing is they play Chelsea either the day before or day after, so I don't know what squad we're going to get.
Yeah, they'll probably both be a kind of mix, I would imagine, maybe.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But listen, folks, thanks for tuning in. Check out Leeds Lately. Mods, wise it in the chat, doing your job properly. And I will see you in a bit. There we go.
He's literally just done it as you've said
Boom,
that.
what a legend. Peace out, folks. Bye-bye.